Thank you. The state would call Josh Wilson.
And, Your Honor, Spencer Rammel for the state.
All right, before we get started with direct, I'll just inquire of the witness here. Have you observed or viewed any trial testimony in this case?
No, Judge.
Okay, you haven't watched any of the coverage of it where people testified, watched any online videos, or listened to any audio, anything like that?
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you for that response. I'll just indicate as you're testifying, please make verbal responses so we keep our record clear, and please try to avoid speaking at the same time as any attorney questioning you. So if you'll keep that in mind, then Mr. Rammel, you can inquire on direct.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Wilson, can I have you state your full name and spell your last name for the record, please?
David Joshua Wilson, Wilson.
And you go by Josh.
Correct.
Dr. Wilson, what is your current occupation?
I'm the principal at Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg, Idaho.
And how long have you been the principal at Kennedy Elementary?
For 4 years now.
Were you employed in that capacity in September of 2019?
Yes.
Dr. Wilson, as a part of your employment, do you oversee and have access to records involving students?
Yes.
Does this include weekly attendance records?
Yes.
Record of correspondence between parents of students and school employees?
Yes.
Did you review and provide documentation to law enforcement of a former student of Kennedy Elementary by the name of Joshua Jackson Vallow, or J.J. Vallow?
I did.
Was he a student at Kennedy Elementary?
Yes.
Who was listed as a parent for J.J. Vallow?
Lori Vallow.
Do you recall the dates when he was enrolled in the school?
September 3rd of 2019 through September 24th of 2019.
So we just talked about enrollment. Do you recall the last day he was physically present at the school?
If I remember correctly, it was the Friday, the 20th of September.
Did the school receive correspondence from Lori Vallow regarding his continued attendance at the school?
Yes.
Do you recall when that correspondence was received?
Around the 24th of September.
Okay. And do you recall the contents of that email?
Yes.
What were they?
She had indicated that that they were removing JJ from school, from Kennedy, and were sending him to Louisiana to be with grandparents.
And did you follow up with Ms. Vallow that day?
I did.
How did you do so?
I called her on the phone.
And do you recall what she said, if anything?
Yes. The conversation was that as soon as they got him enrolled in a school in Louisiana, that just have that school contact our school, and we would be happy to forward any records that we had on file to that school. She then indicated that they weren't going to enroll him in a school, that they were going to, in fact, homeschool, that there was a cousin with similar needs as JJ, and that so they weren't going to enroll in a school. And so I informed Ms. Vallow that whenever she re-enrolls him back into public school, just let us know. We would house the records and are available at any time that she needed.
Dr. Wilson, after that point, did any other school in Louisiana or otherwise request records of J.J. Vallow?
No.
And again, you testified that this conversation was on September 24th, 2019.
Yes.
Was J.J. Vallow present at school that day?
No.
The day prior, September 23rd, 2019, was he present at school that day?
No.
And was that day a Monday?
I believe so, yes.
So just to be clear, the last day that J.J. Vallow was physically present at Kennedy School, or Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg, Idaho, was September 20th of 2019.
Correct.
Judge, that's all I have for this witness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rammel. Cross-examination, Mr. Archibald.
It's Dr. Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. Were you present during the enrollment of JJ?
Yes.
And you remember meeting him?
Yes.
And did you have a program for special needs children?
We have, yes, we do.
And did you receive special funding for special needs children? Is that right?
Yes.
And so when you met JJ and Lori, enrolling him, was there ever any discussion, I just want to enroll him for 3 weeks and then I'm going to withdraw him?
No.
The discussion was enrolling him long term.
Correct.
That a term, a semester, a year, do you remember how long she was planning to have him there?
No, it was my understanding that they were enrolling and then going to be there for the long term.
Okay. And so when when you learned 3 weeks later that she was unenrolling him, did that surprise you?
Yes.
Okay. Because that was not what was initially talked about on September 3rd, 2019.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Judge, nothing based on that.
All right, with no redirect then, that will conclude your testimony. Dr. Wilson, any objection to him being excused or released from any subpoena?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.